Okay, all right, so today I want to speak to you about the necessity of increasing the church's active engagement in long-term missions in foreign countries, which is the call that is rooted in the Great Commission. And the solution to fulfilling it lies in the willingness to take action. So let us begin by acknowledging the reality that we face. Today, many churches support short-term missions, and there's a growing gap in long-term engagement, which is the hands-on personal involvement that takes place where the gospel is spoken directly to nations. So many congregations send members on short-term mission trips, which yield few results, also known as vacationaries. Campbellsville University identifies long-term mission work as the dedication to community and helping people, and short-term mission work is about fulfilling support roles for the same goal. So the Joshua Project assesses that 3 billion people globally remain unreached, approximately 40% of the world, and they have no access to the Gospels. These individuals live in regions where Christianity is often completely unknown. In these areas, the presence of actively engaged long-term missionaries is not only a spiritual necessity, but also an act of compassion and obedience to Christ. So why are these long-term missions important? The call to missions lies in the words of Christ himself, where he says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." So this is the Great Commission, and it's not a suggestion, but it is a command. The verb go is active, not passive. It requires movement, effort, and intention. Jeffrey Poor states that a better interpretation of this verse is, everywhere you go, make disciples of all nations. Engage actively with people, cultures, and communities, sharing the transformative power of the gospel. So Christians must ask themselves, are they truly fulfilling this command when they do short-term mission trips? Are they truly taking enough time to create disciples? The answer is no. In fact, Barrett and Johnson assessed that only 0.1% of Christian giving is directed towards mission efforts in the most unevangelized countries of the world. Active engagement in missions is critical for several reasons, which appeal to our logic, our faith, and hearts. Firstly, from a logical perspective, active engagement allows the church to maximize impact. When you send missionaries to foreign lands, you bring more than just resources. You bring the living witness of Christ's love. Consider the Apostle Paul. His letters were powerful, but his missionary journeys, the physical presence that he brought, was instrumental in planting and nurturing early Christian communities. Today we are called to follow his example. Bowers points out that Paul laid the foundation that we are to follow, and we are warned to be careful against shoddy workmanship. Secondly, ethically, active engagement is a reflection of the responsibility of Christians as ambassadors of Christ. Paul writes, "We are Christ's ambassadors." An ambassador cannot fulfill their role simply by remaining distant. They must go to the people they represent and meet with the people they are sent to reach. This means we need more long-term engagement with unevangelized communities. Finally, consider the emotional and moral imperative. Imagine the joy and transformation that comes when someone brings the gospel to that place. There are countless stories of how lives are changed, communities are uplifted, and hope is restored through the work of missionaries. These are the fruits of active engagement. Fruits that would not exist without someone answering the call to go and stay and fight. The solution of the problem is clear, and that is that we must increase long-term active engagement missions by cultivating a mission mindset, training and equipping our missionaries, and building partnerships. Finally, we must take the bold step of sending these missionaries out and sustaining their efforts through consistent support. This is not only financial aid, but also emotional and spiritual encouragement. The time to act is now. The world is waiting for hope and salvation. We cannot be content with short-term missionaries that are humanitarian focused. Christians must obey the Great Commission and embrace the call to go and make disciples of all nations. For in doing so, we not only change the world, but also deepen our own faith and witness the miraculous power of God.
Interesting.
The end.